I really don't know why I always start with a round of applause, but I'll take it. All right, hello guys, nice to see you. We're going to be starting our workshop in a little minute. We're looking at tension today and how we build tension. So hopefully people will be popping on the thread in a second, and I'll see you guys in a moment. We're in a slightly different room today. I'll explain that in a second, but I'm going to give it like 2 minutes. And then we will get started. So hey, cool people popping on the thread. Feel free to say hello. I'm just going to grab some bits and pieces from upstairs. I'll explain while we're in a different room in just a second. Oh my goodness. All right, cool. So we've got, hi, how are you? Hello, nice to see you. Oh my goodness, right, fantastic. We've got people popping on the thread. Right, today we're going to be talking about tension and about the ways that we can build tension in a piece of writing. Cool, hello. Hey, hello. Hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Glad to that this is all working. How's it going? All right, we can hear me, we can see me. Hopefully everything's clear. You'll notice I'm in a slightly different room than before. We're having a problem, I think, with the internet over this part of the world at the moment. So I'm just I've moved everything right next to my router, like directly next to my router, and we should be okay. Occasionally we might go out of focus. Let's see if we can get that back. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there we go. But we should be all good to go. Now, this is my sitting room. Welcome to my sitting room. I've been away the last couple of nights. I've been away in my camper van, which has been very nice. And I'm really pleased to be back at the moment. Now, I've had a lot of different messages come in the last week from people. I've had some people sent their work in, which has been fantastic. I've loved going through what you've written. Some really cool little kind of vampire stories that we've had based upon last week's session. I've had a few different requests. I've had someone's requested that we do some persuasive writing, like writing letters persuasively, which I'm really happy to do at some point. But I've had a few people talking about how to build tension or how they could try and show that something is tense. And so I decided to put together workshops this week for you guys and for the younger ones to cover this kind of idea of tension. I've just done a workshop for them that's quite it's quite simple, really, as a kind of starting point. But I thought with you guys I might talk a bit more about tension, because in descriptive writing, particularly when you're going to be writing a scene for an exam, like if you're doing the AQA English language paper 1, question 5, you're going to want to be able to have something potentially that builds some tension for the reader. And if you can manage to kind of nail that tension, it can really, really help you kind of pick up some marks. So I thought we would kind of, we'd have a look at that first of all. And that's what we're going to do today. And we may even carry this on into the next session. And then I thought we could maybe close off with some persuasive language stuff in 2 weeks following that. I think it's likely that I may bring these sessions to an end at the end of July, I think, but we'll see. I might carry on through August if people desperately want them. I know I get a lot of messages from people that take part after they're recorded, but I've got a lot of writing I have to do as well, so I might say that we finish our whole project at the end of July, so you guys can have a proper bit of a summer break. So let's have a little look. First of all, my first question to you guys on writing tension. You guys were really good at this actually last week. There was a lot of tension that was raised. So my question to you first of all is how can we increase tension in a story? Like, what techniques do we have at our disposal as a writer if we're going to try and write a short story or a piece of descriptive writing and we want to increase the tension in it? Tension's very important, I think. If we've got tension, then it's more likely the reader will enjoy what we're writing, they'll be along for the journey, but also it's a chance to show off. Hello, hi, Lucy, really nice to see you. All right, cool. So have a little look at that. Hi, hi. Oh, okay, so this is Daisy and Lucy saying hello to each other. Okay, fantastic. Let's have a look at this, see what we can come up with. See if you can write a short list of things that you think help you increase tension in a story. See if you can write a handful of things. What do we think? All right, cool. We've got some great suggestions. As I expected, you guys are already kind of working at like a much faster pace than we had at Key Stage 1 and 2. We've got some really good like language techniques and ideas. Cool. We'll see how we go. So how can we increase tension in a story? Well, Daisy and Lucy, I'm very sorry if there's only a handful of people up on the YouTube. Most people come onto the Facebook, I think, when they kind of take part. So most of the comments I can see are like Facebook comments. I can share them on the screen though, so you guys can see them and you can take part. But the majority of people we've got certainly on Facebook. But you guys are very welcome to join us as well. And I can put anything that you say up here as well. So we've got some suggestions. Ophelia. Yeah, short sentences. Absolutely. That's a really, really effective thing to do. You should be thinking about adjusting your sentence length and paragraph length, actually, based upon how you want to build tension. Longer sentences tend to help us feel more relaxed or spend more time kind of freewheeling around, offering description, whereas tenser moments require shorter sentences in most instances. There's always an exception to the rule, but that's great. We've got, I mean, I'm not sure what, yeah, spooky. All right, yeah, Brandon said spooky here. So he's, yeah, spooky sentences. Okay, that's an interesting idea. Absolutely. So you might have sentences that, that suggest something quite eerie. Yeah, you might want to suggest something kind of supernatural or unusual. Maybe, I think spooky, maybe, for me, that suggests you're suggesting things that we can't solve, right? We're offering... creepy things could be taking place and we don't know why they're happening. All right, so they're kind of they're disconcerting for the reader. Cool. We've got short sentences. Absolutely. Cliffhangers. Yes, I like cliffhangers a lot. I think sometimes cliffhangers can be a little bit of a cop out at the ending. Just whack a little ellipses in and then you're out. But I do think having like a tense moment at the end of a chapter or a scene to make us come back for the next one is a great idea. That happens like all the time in pretty much every like series that I've enjoyed watching. Certainly if I watch Game of Thrones, I expect to have like a cliffhanger at the end of an episode quite often that's going to make me want to come back for the next session. Suspense, absolutely. Callum, good to have you here, Callum. Always enjoy your input. So slowing down the narrative to extend the time between catalyst and the climactic event. Okay, yeah, so absolutely. We might want to play with the amount of time that takes place between someone wanting to do something and something actually happening and it having an impact on what's going on. We can look at that maybe in the next session a bit more, but that's a really cool idea. Creating a conflict. Absolutely. We need to have a conflict. We need to have some kind of... you want to try and achieve something perhaps as a narrator that is being denied by something else. And that needs to be tested. If your whole story is about you wanting to, like, I don't know, go to the cinema, like you just want to walk to the cinema and everybody's helping you walk to the cinema and everything is really nice and easy to help you get to the cinema, it's not a very interesting story. But if it turns out that there's werewolf like over by the cinema that's going to stop you from getting to the cinema and wants to eat you, suddenly that story is much more tense and interesting to read. Single word paragraphs, absolutely, I agree. I love single word paragraphs. I love single word sentences as well. An ominous figure, character, or object. Yep, fantastic. Hello. Lovely to see you, Daisy, mate. So what we've got. A problem that cannot be solved and justify the morals of a story. Okay, cool. Yeah, great. These are really, really good. Now, I think if you're going to build tension in the short term, here's the answer I give like most people, and I'm going to give you guys like a little bonus tip, right, on top of it. So the things that you've got, I think, that really help, first of all, we've got similes and metaphors, all right? The very first thing that we've got, a lot of these techniques are techniques that are useful for all forms of descriptive writing because they help it feel immersive. We want to make, if we want to feel tension, the readers feel tension, we want to have them immersed within the events that are taking place. So we want to have similes and metaphors because by using similes and metaphors, the writing feels more powerful. We feel like we're really there and experiencing it. We want to use the different senses because I read people's descriptive writing pieces and they just talk about what they can see. And the problem is with that is I don't really feel the tension because I don't really feel like I'm there. I don't really feel invested. If I can feel if I can feel what things touch like, I can sense what things feel like. If I can smell things, if I can hear things, if I feel more immersed in the world, it's more likely the tension is going to have an impact on me. A range of punctuation. If you ever do anything continuously, like again and again and again, use the same thing, it kills tension. We need to have variety in order to build a sense of tension. So we can't just have like exclamation marks constantly. That's actually something that a lot of times at primary and early on in Key Stage 3 people start doing, is they just assume that tension means exclamation marks and they kind of whack them in constantly. You can absolutely have exclamation marks in a piece to build tension, but using a range of punctuation helps. Having some commas in there really helps. Having longer sentences to make the shorter sentences have more impact is important. So using a range is really important. If you ever find yourself using the same punctuation again and again, you are probably cutting your tension out, all right? Having said that, exclamations are really great, right? So anyone going, ouch, oh no, or any kind of really short like pieces of speech can be really, really effective. Showing us and not just telling us is also really important. We had a whole session on that, didn't we? Instead of saying, I was scared, what can we write instead? What can we show instead? So my first question to you guys is this. I want you to have a go. Give me one sentence that shows me that you are scared as a character. So we're going to use those words, first person. How do we know that you're scared? You can't say, I was scared. That's really easy. We don't do that. How can we show that we're scared? What's going to happen with your teeth? What could happen with your heart? What could happen with your skin, with the hair on your skin? What could happen with your knees? What could happen that shows us that you're scared? In one sentence. I just want one sentence for this, all right? So can you show me that you're scared in one sentence? Feel free to use any of these other things that you've got. That's totally cool. But that's what the challenge first of all. We're going to start nice and easy. We're not going to say, I was scared. Like, it's kind of a bit of an easy way to get out. How can we show? Oh, yes. Already got a couple of cool ideas. All right. How do we show that we're scared really, really, really quickly with like one sentence? What do we think? This is looking good. Oh, these are great. These are great. All right, cool. We've got enough to talk about here. All right. So, let's have a look. So, I love this one by Brandon, straight off the bat. My heart leapt into my throat. Ooh, great. What I love about this is there's a suggestion. There's no suggestion of your mind telling your heart. You're not in control. So the suggestion is that your heart, of its own accord, is leaping into your throat. That feels uncomfortable. I feel like I can feel that as I'm reading it. So we're getting an extra sense of sense in there as well. Whenever you write, and a good tip, guys, whenever you write about the heart or the eyes, those are really, or the mind, those three things are really good things to write about if you want to show how someone is feeling. All right, the heart, the eyes, and the mind. If you ever write about those three things, I think it's really quick, easy shorthand for people to get an idea of how someone feels. In fact, if you ever read like a lot of hardball detective fiction, Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett, a lot of those great writers in the 1920s in America, they would focus on eyes all the time. All of their writing was about the eyes and what you could see in people's eyes. So yeah, my heart leapt into my throat is a fantastic way of showing that. My face was shaking to death. Love it. I think that's really cool. My favorite, one of my favorite words, most important thing for me in a piece of creative writing is originality, and I love it in that. I'm even going to give you a little round of applause. I kind of like that. Hooray! My face was shaking to death, just so it's weird. My legs were shaking like a volcano. Yeah, okay, wicked. Lucy, that's cool. I like it a lot. My hands were shaking. Absolutely. I think that's really nice, really tight. What I like about a short sentence like that is nothing is wasted, right? You couldn't get rid of the word hands. You couldn't get rid of the word shaking. It's all tight and compact. When an examiner reads that, they're thinking every single word is there for a reason. You understand how you're crafting it. So that's a really nice, simple example. We've got, my hands were shaking. Yeah, great. My heart beating as loud as a drum. I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. I know you haven't told me that you're scared. You've shown me that you're scared. Here's the challenge for this, Ophelia. I would love to hear. I do hear heart beating as loud as a drum quite a lot. It's what we would call like a dying metaphor, all right? Because it's a kind of a metaphor that gets used quite a lot. It's not dead yet, like as in like it's just like we don't even see it as a metaphor anymore, but it's dying. If you want to check out my metaphor masterclass, we go through a lot of these, and I think if we can say like beating louder, like, you know, if my heart was beating as louder as a stegosaurus's footsteps, I'm not saying that is perfect, right? But I think if you could say something like that, you're more likely to say something that no one else would think of, and that originality is worth something to you as a writer. It's very valuable. So I think that was a great example, and I'm not in any way criticizing what you've got there. I just think, like, can you push it to be even more original at the end? So I know I was going to say my books. I thought it was very generous. Oh, okay, yeah, fantastic. All right, so. Oh, yeah, nice. I like this. Let's have a look at this one. My legs felt like jelly. All right, cool. I like it. Again, jelly. I've heard legs being like jelly a bit. Can we find a way of like putting a word in to make the jelly more unusual, more original? And my breaths were short and rapid. Yeah, my breaths were short and rapid is really nice. I like that a lot. Okay. Oh, cool. My legs were shaking. My teeth were chattering. My heart felt like it was going to come out of my chest. Yeah, absolutely. I love it, Daisy May. What I'd suggest is make sure, you don't have to do it here, obviously, but in your writing, put in full stops. You know, make sure you've got them nice, tight, demarcated sentences. But yeah, absolute good. Good. My heart felt like it was, and you've improved here. You've said my heart felt like it was going to jump out of my chest. Absolutely. You've personified the heart there, and you've given it a bit more weight. So my heart felt as if it was going to jump out of my chest. I just think is a really exciting image. I think that's cool. Well done. From the base of my neck, my back, a sharp tingling rose up to meet the beads of sweat slipping down my spine. Yeah, lovely one, Callum. Some beads of sweat. I love it. I think I think that's really cool. I think from the base of my back, I like the alliteration of base of back. I think is really cool. A sharp tingling feels very onomatopoeic. I think that's really cool. All right. So here's the challenge. I think we can write like a simple like line about being scared, but can we do it about something that's not scary? Can I find my sheet? There we go. So here's the challenge for you guys now. I'm going to give you a sentence, an idea, and I want you to try and write about doing this. Maybe in like 2 sentences. I only want like 2 sentences now. Remember, I'm always keen on originality, like making it kind of fun, however we can think of it. But here's the challenge. I'm going to get rid of that little originality box there. So, can you write, all right? Can you do this about something that is not scary or tense? Can you write about eating a sandwich, but make it seem really tense? Cool. Oh, well, fantastic. Nice to see you guys. You're very welcome to be here. Those of you who don't know, I'm a kind of a battle rapper, international battle rapper as well. But at the moment, we're focusing on our writing skills. So, lovely to see you guys, though. You're very welcome to be here. So, can you write about eating a sandwich, but make it seem really tense? All right. Now, I know that eating a sandwich might not normally be tense, but let's say you're going to have this sandwich. Maybe what's it going to smell like? Maybe you're unwrapping it. Maybe you're a little bit concerned. What could you be doing as you're eating the sandwich? Can you take a normal thing like this and in 2 sentences, just 2 sentences, can you make it feel tense? All right. Ah, you're very welcome, guys. Lovely. It was a while back, wasn't it? It was a while back. Yeah, I'm probably a bit more family friendly these days. But yeah, how are we doing? Let's see how we go. So let's see how we do. I'm going to give you like a little bit more time. I'm going to give you like a good minute. I tell you what, I feel like we've got some really good writers on the group today. I know we always have like a variety of people, and if it's your first time here, you're very welcome to be here. Do not worry as well. You don't have to submit anything on the chat if you don't want to. That's totally fine. If you do want to submit anything, I will try and really only show anything that I think is good. I want to make that really clear. Like the stuff I show, I think I'm showing it because I think it's good and it's really, really worthwhile. I think you've done a really fantastic job. So let's have a look. You're going to write about eating a sandwich, but make it seem really tense. What can we have? I mean, you're allowed 3 sentences if you want to go with 3 sentences. That's totally fine. But how would you do it in like 2 sentences? And again, we don't want to try and just say, I was tense. We want to try and show it if we can, or we can show it. What can we show to the reader that makes the reader think, this might be pretty bad, or like, maybe I'm not sure about this sandwich. Let's have a look. So let's have a little look. Ooh, these are cool. All right. Lucy Baker, we're going to start with yours because yours looks ace. Let's have a look. So my face lighted up and it was juicy in smell, mouth. My hands clenched in. Absolutely. I really like it. I think you were using words like clenched. All right, clenched is a very tense word. That's really effective. My face lighted up. I think suggests that you're emotionally connected. You care about this sandwich. It was juicy in smell. Mouth, my hands clenched in. Great. I think that's brilliant. I think one thing you could then do with it is to really focus on kind of getting those clearly demarcated sentences, getting those full stops in, keeping them tight. But I think it's a really, really nice example. All right, Adam, what have we got? All right, let's have a look at this. The sweat dripped from my forehead as the mayonnaise leapt. Oh, I love that. It's a great choice of language there. From the 2 slices of sloppy bread. I love it. I would maybe cut towards sloppy bread, but I think that's I think that's great. I think it's quite a long sentence. If you were to have another sentence after this, Adam, I'd have a really short one, like maybe 1, 2, or even 3 words to kind of contrast the long sentence with the short sentence. Always worth bearing in mind, we liked contrast. That's how we build tension. We don't try and have the same thing again and again. That's where I'd go next with it, but I think that's really cool. Daisy May had a cold shiver rush over me. Yeah, absolutely. You've already editing yourself. That's totally fine. I took the soft, white, spongy matter and pressed my teeth into the dough. Yeah, I love it. Now, notice how with this piece here, if we zoom in, whenever we zoom in on something, like the kind of camera of our description, I think it adds tension a lot of the times. And this is a good example of how we slow time down, as we mentioned before, trying to slow down what's taking place. Whenever you zoom in, really zoom in on the features, it can really add tension as well. One of the worst things I can see happen sometimes when people write a descriptive piece and there's a really tense, stressful situation is they run it on for a long time. Like it goes on like for ages. Sorry, they run it really quickly. Even sorry. So what happens is they kind of like it's over. Something attacks and they jump out the way and then they run and then that's it. And you're like, actually, if we slowed down time and zoomed in on the features of the creature as it dives out of the shadows, we could spend 3 or 4 sentences on this moving towards you. And actually, I think it would add to the tension rather than say it pounced at me, I dived out the way and I ran off. Could we add more tension there? That was really badly explained, but yeah, trying to slow down time by zooming in and describing things in more detail can be really effective. So my hands were trembling, lovely, as I brought it up to my lips. I took a bite, my mind flashing through ideas of what gruesome filling there may be. I love gruesome filling. That's really nice. Then I realized I froze. It was tuna! How did you know? That's the most disgusting. I hate tuna. I think it's disgusting. Well, yeah. That's great, fantastic. I think the commas I would consider changing some of those commas to full stops potentially, so you can have some shorter sentences for impact. But you're trying to. I get what you're doing, Afida. I said 2 sentences, right? And you're trying to fit everything in 2 sentences. So yeah, brilliant. I love that one. The sandwich. Very nice. Towered over me. So now we're suggesting something is bigger and you are smaller. That's always a really good way to build tension. Notice how we're speaking in the first person. We did this last session, didn't we? Last week we looked at writing in the first person. Whenever you're writing in the first person like this, we're locked into your opinion and your viewpoint, and we care about you as a character because you're our journey through this story. And so if the thing you're dealing with is bigger than you and you're smaller, we feel that tension because we kind of instinctively worry about you. So a sandwich that towers over you is quite tense, right? That makes us feel quite tense. My mouth pushed it away from me in every direction. Oh, that sounds a bit weird, but yeah, I like it. It's pretty original. I felt like World War III was erupting. Okay, yeah, great. Nice original simile there that's being used there as well, Jack. I've not heard that one in a while. That's a cool idea. My hands were filled with delight, all aglow. As I opened my sandwich, a smell blasted me in the face. Poof. Yeah, blasted is great. That's really, really nice. All right, well, I'm going to go with one more. My fingers clutched Callum. All right, let's have a look, Callum. Right. My fingers clutched the defeated, lifeless being within their grasp, lifting it steadily to my ready lips, teeth bared, as the rising aroma permeated the room, meandering into my nostrils. I love it. I think in some ways you might not even need the meandering into my nostrils. You could separate that, but like, yes to everything. It's a really stunning description. Hovering. I like hovering. Commas are nice, right? Because you slow down, you pause after the word hovering, suggests the action hovering as well by putting the comma in. Very nice combination. My tongue waited. Bliss ensued in the first bite. The conflicting textures brought euphoria over tangible confusion of the soft and the crunchy. It sounds like Demetrius, our vampire, is having a sandwich from our last session. Callum, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give you like a little round of applause for that one. Here's the thing, though. We don't have to like go all in on a sandwich. We can write about a location and dealing with that. Now, a thing to remember, I think, is that tension and plot, someone said it comes from conflict, didn't they? They said it comes from conflicting ideas. I think tension and plot, when it's at its best, it comes from character. We need to have characters. I ran off to get Pringles. Okay, that's all right, Brandon. I don't know if that's in real life or in the writing. It's up to you. I don't mind. But effective plot comes from character. So in this story, we're going to write now. I'm going to give you a task. We are on a journey. We are searching for treasure. All right. We are a special treasure hunter. We are traveling through a very dangerous space, looking for this treasure. We're going to travel through a forest called the Shortening Forest is what we're going to call it. The Shortening Forest. On the other side of the Shortening Forest, they say there is a huge mound of treasure. Many people have tried to get through the Shortening Forest and have died in the process. Today, we are going to attempt to write about journeying through the shortening forest. Now, in order to do this, we should think about our character first of all. And so I want you to think about this. All right? Who is your narrator? How old are they? Now, in the last session, we looked at the first person, didn't we? We started looking at how it can be useful. We wrote from the perspective of someone turning up at a party who was very nervous. Then we wrote from the perspective of a vampire who was at the party, who was going to eat them. And then we wrote from the perspective of someone who was turning up with a weapon to try and kill the vampire before it killed anyone else. It was pretty full on. Well, here we're going to write from a character's viewpoint. Who is your narrator? Are they your age? Is this basically just going to be you in this situation? You can do that, it's totally fine. Or are they going to be older? How old are they? What is their background? Okay, so they are traveling through this forest. Are they experienced? Are they well equipped to be traveling through this forest? What skills do they have? What weaknesses? What do they want and why? Now, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. And I want you to see what you can come up with on these questions. Give it some thought. So there's a special treasure, huge amount of treasure. You've got to get through the shortened forest to get there. Lots of people have died. Perhaps a relative of this character has died in the shortened forest. Perhaps this is a character that is really desires money and wealth and is really excited about that. Perhaps they want to be famous, and that's why they want to kind of get through the shortened forest. They'll be the only person who's ever made it to the other side and been able to find out what's on the other side. But who are they? How old are they? What skills do they have? What weaknesses do they have? And this is very important. Is there anything that they are not good at, that they are not great at? Have a look at these questions. See if you can write a few words for each of these questions as an answer, and we'll start to get an idea of a character, right? I think if we've got these ideas, this will help us build tension much more effectively. So I'm going to give you, I've been talking during your first minute a bit. I'm going to give you like about 2.5 minutes, all right? 2.5 minutes to see what you can get on this, and then we are off. We're going to see if we can make it through in one piece. Some of you might not make it. I've got my fingers crossed. All right, 2.5 minutes to see what you get. What do you think? Who are they? How old are they? Why are they interested? Okay. Oh, we got an interesting suggestion already. Oh. Ah. I'm just going to shut this up, Lucy, because this is a fantastic example, Lucy. Well done. I'm going to give you your own little round of applause for this. I love it. All right. My name is Dora. I'm only 13. So a 13-year-old. My heart is trembling. My hands are shaking. And my face, I'm not being independent. You want to prove to your family that you're brave. Oh, what a great idea. These are all great answers. I think Lucy's given me pretty much a textbook like set of ideas. I can picture this with Dora. I'd love to know what Dora's weaknesses are. Hang on, is this Dora the Explorer? It's not Dora the Explorer, is it? But yeah, that's great. So that's a suggestion. Brandon has got, we got himself. He's 14, background unknown. His skills in navigating English, weaknesses, a love for Pringles. Oh my goodness, Brandon! If there's Pringles in this forest, you are in trouble, Brandon. I want the creature because you want to do evil things. Oh no, okay. Oh wow, okay. What have we got? People are already kind of writing about this shortening forest. All right, cool. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you, you're not going to go in with nothing. I mean, you can do if you like, but I would like to have a look at some of the things you can take. Is there a way we can build tension by showing these things before we even get into the forest? All right. Once we've done this, by the way, you're pretty much halfway through your writing part of this session. The weaknesses, they're very independent. Okay, so cool, Lucy, love it. So they're not going to be, they're not very good at taking help from people. All right, so on the table sat my equipment. I would like to write that as the first line of this next bit. All right, what equipment are you taking? Can you show me that equipment? Can you zoom in on the equipment? On the table sat my equipment. I want to see if you can mention 3 items that you would take with you. What could you be taking with you into this shortened forest? And how are you going to be able to build tension by describing these things? Is it possible that these pieces of equipment could be presented as not perfect somehow? Perhaps they're a bit broken or a bit old, or perhaps there's a clue that we might get from these pieces of equipment that they are not going to last a long time. What can you do with this equipment before we even start that helps us feel tension? If you want to try this line here as well, I glanced out the window. What can you see? Maybe before you leave. What's the weather going to be doing as you set off? Can you build some tension there? So on my window, on my table sat my equipment. Can you describe what equipment is there? I glanced out the window. What can you see or hear out the window that could build additional tension? What do you think? Just to say as well, you guys are doing brilliantly today. I'm so impressed. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to see what we can get on this now. We're going to get this sorted, and then we are away. We are halfway through your writing for the session, which is awesome. On the table sat my equipment. I'm trying to think what I would take. I'd probably take a compass. I might take a compass, and I think I would take an axe. Here's the challenge as we're doing this, though, and just a reminder, my favourite word, I'll put it up every now and then, originality. I think the obvious things people might mention they're taking through the forest are probably like a torch and a rope and maybe an axe. I think those are kind of the most obvious things that I would think of. Okay, fantastic. All right, this is a good example. Okay, yeah, great, Lucy. So Lucy has done really well here because we've got Lucy smashing it. The rope, I think, yeah, a rope absolutely makes sense. Has a big rip in. I was very scared. I had water, a pair of shoes, I had a hole in. Oh no, the shoes have got a hole in. Okay, so my rope has a big rip. Maybe there's another way we could say it because a rip in a rope is a bit. I had a rope. It was a bit chewed. Maybe we could say like it had been a bit chewed by rats in the basement or something. But yeah, I love it. I love it. Now notice how when zooming into the item, we're slowing down time and we're describing it. That adds to the tension as we're kind of making our way in. Oh, Brandon. Lovely, lovely, lovely piece of writing. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to give just 1 more minute so we can get our last ideas. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, Lucy, I've just seen how you've adjusted yours. Say magnifique. Well done. That looks brilliant. All right. So let's have a look. I know people are kind of still finishing up. But let's have a look. I've got a couple here. We can go. Bear in mind, you do not. I know we get a lot of people who message me separately with their work who say they would rather not share it on the chat. That's totally fine. Totally fine if you don't want to share it on the chat. Let's have a look and see how we're doing. So we're just describing items at the moment, but is there a way these items can make us feel added tension? So, all right, I love this. All right, Brandon. On the table sat my equipment. Lovely. I love that we've got like a colon there as well. Fantastic. A worn compass, comma. Once lustrous, but now dull and scratched. A pocket knife, sharpened to a point, gleaming in the sun, and a frayed rope to help me down heights. Okay. We've got a little bit of tweaking potentially with the punctuation, but I love it. A worn compass. As soon as the item's described as worn, straight away, it suggests that maybe you have used the item a lot, so maybe you're experienced, which is kind of cool. So that makes us feel like, oh, you know what you're doing. But also it suggests maybe it could break. Dull and scratched. A pocket knife sharpened to a point, gleaming in the sun, and afraid what would happen on nights. Yeah, absolutely. Frayed adds a bit of tension there because it doesn't sound perfect. All right, like this. Jack. Josh feels quite full of themselves, it must be said. So Josh has gone, my name is Josh, and I am courageous. Just like my great fat grandfather, Long John Silver, who put the treasure there after fleeing from the talking tree. He never let anyone pass unless it was raining. Rain was the key. My family still think this is a legend, but I know it isn't, and I will prove them wrong. On the table sat my equipment. Okay, here we go. My grandfather's map. And my trusty item, the Thunderstrucker. It scared everyone away by using its loud, thundery noise. Great, I love it. I love that you said that. The only thing you could do, instead of telling us that it scares everyone away, say once my uncle used it, banged it on the ground, and it scared. If you can show me it happening rather than telling me it definitely happens, but showing it happening, that's quite cool because we can see, and that's more satisfying. We can see it, how it happened. That's more satisfying, but also we don't know that it will always work, right? If you say, oh, it does this, that kind of alleviates some of the tension because we know that will always happen. If you say someone else did this with it, but maybe you don't even know for a fact if it works, there's a lot more tension there, and it feels a bit cooler. But yeah, I love it. I also took my grappling hook. I knew this would help me no matter what the circumstances, but this would be all I have. Yeah, great. Really good. Lucy, you're stuck on the second one? Oh, that's totally fine. So, do you know what? Let's have a little look at it for a second. 1 second. I glanced out of the window. Now, there is a way that we can write about things. There's a sense of foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is when we suggest that things are going to go badly. And we can foreshadow using the weather. And if we're going to go with the weather, it's pathetic fallacy is what we're going for. It means that the weather mirrors the mood of the character or the events that are taking place. So if this is going to have some bad, creepy events, maybe we have like a glance out the window. It had begun to rain. Thunder struck above the trees of the shortened forest. You could say something like that. If you show bad weather before a story that's going to get tense, it's a really good way of foreshadowing things are going to go badly. So that's what I would suggest. If you're stuck for anything, perhaps out the window you see some like ominous clouds forming. That's what I would go for. So on my table sat my equipment. But Lucy, I love that you asked. I think that's great. Because that's what these sessions are for asking. So well done. On my table sat my equipment. My father's dagger in my hand. It is old, but it's all I can afford. Ophelia, nice. So we know that the character has very little money, which also means we might root for the character more because we feel compassionate for them. If they said like, it was my dagger in my hand. Oh, it's really expensive, but I'm really minted anyway. I can buy anything I like. Then it might be that we don't root for them as much. We tend to root for an underdog, don't we? Someone who is down on their luck. I knew it was dangerous when I accepted this quest, and I'm the youngest traveller to attempt this. Oh, exciting. So no one your age has ever attempted. That adds to the tension. I reach for my lantern, which should work as long as it doesn't rain, and my water bottle. I know this quest is dangerous. My family is already planning. No. My family is already planning my funeral. Love it. Woof, amazing. You could easily, in a story, spend a whole paragraph on this, I reckon, just that sentence. Obviously I love it, but if you didn't tell us that they're planning the funeral, but if you show us that you see like funeral parlor brochures that your mum has like pinned to the fridge or something like that, and that there's or that your mum has been they've already started kind of your younger brothers and sisters have already started dividing up your possessions, that you can hear them arguing over your possessions as you're leaving, like who gets them in your will. Then that's kind of interesting and powerful, but we by showing us it will be even more powerful. But like Ophelia, that is an ace. Stressful last sentence there. On the table sat my equipment. My grandfather's aging, trusty spyglass that served him throughout numerous explorations of the North, the hand-me-down book of unexpected mythical woodland beasts, which bore more stains and tears than pages, and the bright mustard Macintosh jacket that would surely protect me from the weather, at least. Love it. Great. I love it. You've got those really clear. That is a good long old sentence there with lots of clauses. Really nicely put together. Well done. All right. Iris. Hello, Iris. On the table sat my equipment. A machete. Badass. All right, cool. Which is slightly fractured at the edges. Nice. So we know that it's not perfect. There's going to be more tension with that item. A slightly ripped yet warm jacket and a spyglass once loved but now rusty with dirt and grime. Amazing. Now, these objects, whenever you bring objects into a piece of writing, if you're describing things and you're making it tense, these objects are called, I haven't got a note for it, they're called Chekhov's guns in Foreshadowing. Basically, the Chekhov's gun is whenever we show something that we are going to use later on in the story. If you are in trouble in your story, suddenly everything's going wrong and you pull out a gun, right? The reader feels a bit cheated because we didn't know you had a gun in the first place. And if you just suddenly have the object you need to solve the problem, it's not very good. It's not very effective storytelling. If you set these objects up early on, then we know you have them, and when you use them later on, it's quite satisfying to see them come back. Okay, so these are all Chekhov's guns. A good example of things that use Chekhov's guns, you know what, Harry Potter uses it quite a lot. James Bond, like 007 films, use it all the time. So if you've ever seen a James Bond film, he'll go and see Q, won't he? And he'll go and get his gadgets. And they go through all these gadgets. That's our Chekhov's guns. We're getting a load of these items, and we know that we can use them later on. And if we use them later on, they're going to be satisfying. Okay, so we've got some ideas out for the window. Oh, I glanced out the window. The rain shattering down on the dusty old roof. It began to thunder over my head. Lucy, yeah, great tension being built there. Really lovely tension. Through the dim pouring rain, the gloom of the clustered trees warned me against my plans. The track running adjacent to our hut now gurgled as a deepening stream, a moat, attempted to ward off evil. Yeah, okay, I like it, Callum. I think that's nice. Iris, let's have a little look at yours. So, I took a glance out of the window. A storm with heavy rain hitting what it can. Oh, I like that. Hitting what it can is a really cool idea. Quick flashes of light, quickly followed by the yell of thunder. I love the yell of thunder. Very original way of describing the thunder. I would have to deal with this, and as soon as possible. Yeah. All right. Cool. We're set and ready to go. So here's the challenge. I've tried to make these as overlays. We're close towards the end of the session. We're going to see if we can get through this forest. I want you to copy down this sentence for me, please. This is going to be your first sentence. I entered the shortening forest and crept silently through the gnarled and bendy trees. That's going to be our first sentence here. Now, I think as a sentence, this is pretty good. Oh, Jack, I'm just reading yours as well now. It looks awesome. It looks cool. I entered the shortening forest and crept silently through the gnarled and bendy trees. Now, I wrote this morning to put on here. I didn't spend very long on it, but I think overall it's doing a good enough job. I think I entered the shortening forest is pretty clear, and we know what's going on, and crept silently suggests that you feel nervous, right? We're not saying that the character is is being careful, or is concerned for being heard, but we know that they're creeping silently. Silently also suggests that they're quite skilled, actually, like that they're pretty decent at moving quietly through the gnarled and bendy trees. I went with gnarled and bendy because I feel like gnarled is quite a nice onomatopoeic word when I'm describing trees, and bendy, I just put it in because I kind of feel it's very different to gnarled, and so there's like a nice variety between the two, and I feel like it gives us more scope for these trees to maybe move, right? So hopefully we've copied this sentence down. Now, how many words are in the sentence? All right, that's what I want to ask. How many words are in this sentence? See if you can count how many words are there. Going through the sentence, how many words can you get? What do you think? How many words are there? There are 14 words. So we have got 14 words in this sentence. This is the first sentence of you going through the forest. Hopefully you have copied this sentence down. As we go through the shortening forest, the bad news is that our sentences are going to get shorter and shorter as the trees are going to start to gather around us. And we're going to see what this does to our writing. Okay, so every sentence we write from now on has to be shorter than 14 words. I'm going to set you guys the challenge to write the next sentence in your journey. Let's see if I can extend this. And lift that. All right. So, can you write the next sentence? It needs to be shorter than the sentence I've got above. It needs to be shorter than 14 words, but I think this should be, we don't want to go straight away to like a one-word sentence. So we're going to try and write a sentence that is longer than 9 words. So 10 to 13 words. All right. Can you write the next sentence that is between 10 and 13 words to continue this story? Remember, things are going to start to feel a little bit creepier now as we're going through. Perhaps the trees are moving, perhaps the light is going, perhaps if we want to use the senses, maybe we can hear certain things as we're moving. What could be happening? But you've got to have between 9 and 13 words. Oh, Brandon, I'll live with it. If your one that you've just written is exactly 9, that's totally fine. I don't mind. It just means you're going to get some pretty tight sentences as you keep having to reduce. So, 1 minute. What would your next sentence be? I entered the shortening forest and crept silently through the gnarled and bendy trees. Ooh, these are good. These are good. All right, cool. Let's have a little look. So, the next sentence. It needs to be shorter than 14 words, so 13, but longer than I said 10. I should have just written between 10 and 13 words, shouldn't I? All right, so let's have a little look and see what we've got. The trail is getting more and more crowded. It must be my imagination. I love that. That's really, really nice. So compare that to the first one. It's definitely less words, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bang on 13. So that is 1 word less than the sentence before. The trail is getting more and more crowded. It must be my imagination. I like that. I like that it must be my imagination because you're telling yourself, oh, everything's fine. But we as the reader, there's a lot of dramatic irony in that because we know something that the character isn't thinking, which is that, nah, mate, you're in trouble. This is not looking good for you. So that's great. Let's see what I've got. We've got... this one was 9, wasn't it? But this is okay. I entered the shortened forest, crept silently through the gnarled and bendy trees. My compass points to the treasure of the west. Okay, cool. This is great. So we know that the person is on track. Everything is going okay. I was looking around. Where to go now? Yeah, I was looking around. Where do I go? Around where to go now? That's great. Okay, Adam, you've gone nuts for it. All right, let's have a look. I entered the shortening forest, crept silently through the gnarled and bendy trees. Fog overwhelmed my vision, making the path to this reward impossible. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna. I traversed forward, but I'm gonna keep. We're gonna try and just go at one sentence at a time, if that's okay, because I want to make sure that we get all of these ideas done. Let me see. Where's the chat? There's the chat. Okay, so. Oh no! Unrelenting raindrops whipped the canopy above as the trunks appeared to close in. Callum, I mean, lovely. Bob, the trees blocking out the sun, making it look like a nightmare. Thanks for joining us, Bob. That's a wicked one. I love it. You got a nice simile in there as well. The ravens above formed a murder, a sign of bad omens to come. Yes, nice. The fog clung to me, too scared to go on alone. Okay, these are phenomenal. We're going to try and go with one at a time. Adam, this is not to say yours is not brilliant. All right, I love it, but we're going to try and keep tightening. So your next sentence needs to be shorter than the last one. 6 to 9 words now. All right, so we're going to keep on going the forest, but now this sentence is going to get shorter. Things are feeling worse. I tell you now, this forest, we're going to have less and less words in every sentence as gradually the forest defeats us. So this is bad now. What can you say? What could you have in a line that is 6 to 9 words? What do you think? I really like Jack's, by the way, just from before. They were getting ready to grab me. They were getting ready to grab me. All right, well, yeah, 7 words. They were getting ready to grab me is a great one. Oh, no! Sorry, that was quite a scream there, wasn't it? Lucy, that worried. I felt someone following me. Great, what a good short sentence. I see the treasure, but the trees close in. Okay, great. These are great. Now, notice how, as we're shortening our sentences, we're starting to feel that tension building. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, Ophelia's gone for bang on 9 words. All right. Fog began gathering at my feet, guiding me somewhere. Okay, lovely. Step after step, the light slowly slithered away. Great. These are really, really cool. Bob, let's see what you got. Oh, this is about the nightmare, isn't it? One that I can't just wake up from. Yeah, almost it seemed as if they lurked closer. Fantastic. All right, so here's the next challenge. We've done 6 to 9 words. Is this one right? Okay, can your next sentence be shorter than 6 words? You've got, I'd say try and aim for like 4 or 5 words. All right, this is getting bad now. All right, things are starting to, like, the shortening forest is shortening our sentences. Eventually, we'll be down to just like 1 word. And it's going to be pretty tricky to escape with just 1 word. Oh, Callum. I'm just going to put it up because it's just a tasty sentence. The air's palpable thickness gathered in my lungs. That palpable thickness, I can taste it in my mouth because it's coming close to the lungs. You're managing to fit a bunch of senses in there as you're writing it. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. All right. So, next sentence be shorter than 6 words. This is tough. It's going to keep getting shorter, guys. It's going to keep getting shorter. Oh! I heard a snap behind me. Nice. My body was shaking to death. Now notice these sentences are starting to kind of feel really tense as we're reducing them. The fog began to rise. Ace, great. Really, really good. 10 seconds left. So we got that sentence that's shorter than 6 words. And if you finish that, let's go with this then. This is bad now. How short can you make your final sentence? Can we keep building down? Can we do like 3 sentences and each one take a word off? Keep getting tighter and tighter as we're getting down. I would like to get to 2 words. I'd like to get to 2 words. We're going to try and get that to just a 2-word sentence. Build it down bit by bit. See how we end up. Maybe we have a 4-word sentence. Maybe a 3 then. Maybe a 2. We're going to really kind of tighten this down. Fantastic. I need to get out. Lovely. Lucy, I love it. I need to get out. Fantastic. Your next sentence, I want to be like 4 words. Can you get a 4-word then? A 3-word? Can we restart crunching down each sentence as it gets the trees are coming in? It's shortening our sentences. That's what it's doing. Oh, yes, Iris. I smelt sulfur arise. Brilliant. 3 words, Iris. What would you do next? Oh no, Ophelia, the treasure's gone. It disappeared forever. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to give you like another 20 seconds to see where we can get. And then this is the challenge. You know what? I'm going to say we can go for 4 sentences on this. Can you escape in 4 sentences? Each one longer than the last as you make your way out. So, for example, you might start by saying, your first word here we go. Here's my 3. So, can you escape? 4 sentences, each one longer than the last, you get out. So my first one is going to be enough. I resist. Swing my axe. And then my 4th sentence, I can go as long as I like now, and it can be like a really long one as I hack and I hack and I hack and I bust my way out and I get out. But can you get out now? We go from 1 word or 2 words and we extend our sentences each time. Each sentence with 1 or 2 more words as we kind of bust our way out. If you can you get through to the other side? This is your chance to get through that shortening forest. Or if you like, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you can't get out. Maybe the forest then comes back in and tightens again and destroys you. It's up to you. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to decide how you're going to solve this. And congratulations when you get to the end of that, guys. We're going to have a brief chat about what we've got from this and a discussion about where we're going to go next with our journey. All right, so what can you get? 2 minutes. Can you do this? Where can you end up? Perhaps there's an item that you've brought, one of your items that could be particularly useful. What do you think? I'm just going to... So I think we've got this piece of information, so we can do that. But I'm just going to bring up Adam's piece because it cracks me up. Adam, I like it a lot. What is that thing? Is it a rat? Possibly a dog? Not possible. Trees! Fantastic. Yeah, I love it. I love how you've kind of reduced that. Now, what we're doing here, this is actually called Snowball Poetry. It's a technique used by a group of poets called the Oulipo. They're mostly a group of French poets where they take poems and ideas for poems and they start with 1 syllable and they move it out and they kind of bring them in and bring them out by adding words and taking words away. So we're kind of, it's a bit of a mathematical challenge as well as we kind of work this out. But it's interesting to see, isn't it, what effect short sentences can have. And if we were just using short sentences, I don't think it would really help our tension, would it? We need to change. That's the kind of golden rule about building tension. There has to be variety for the tension to be built. It can't be just short sentences, just long sentences. It can't be just full stops. It's got to be a range of things. What can we come up with? All right, we got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go through these. Once you kind of finished on this, for now, you're done for today. What I'd like to do is, I reckon next session we will continue our journey. We've done a lot of the hard work. We're going to continue this journey next session. We're going to see what's on the other side of the shortened forest, and we're going to see who can finally make it to dealing with the guardian of this treasure and getting the treasure and getting out of here. So let's have a look at these. So I love it. Snap is a nice one. Okay, so trees close in. I swung my machete. I love it. I love it. Like trees close in. One more word there. I swung my machete. That feels really effective. Hit after hit. I tried to run. No escape. Yeah, these are nice. I think that's cool. We're not doing them in the order that I mentioned, but I think they're having a good impact. Right, night, Bob. No, full stop. Very powerful use of a single word sentence. No, I refuse to be stuck. I tear down the branches. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think realistically, if you weren't for like meeting the requirements that I've set, you could say no. I refuse to be stuck would be a completely fine sentence, but that no has a great amount of power as a single word sentence. That's really cool. Fear gripped me, comma, preventing escape. Growing, comma, surrounding shadows loomed. Fervent thought raced. I inhaled. Silence. Oh, Callum, did you die? Oh, mate, I'm really sorry to hear that. That it didn't work out for you. But it's very beautifully written. I had enough. I can't resist seeing my family. I had my rope attached to trees and swinging to my right way home. Okay, so you swing on the rope all the way back. Nice. I have to resist. I snap back to reality. I scramble blindly through the fog, stumble along to the exit when it suddenly disappears into the fog. Yeah, I like this a lot. I have to resist, I think is nice. I think that no that Bob came up with within this, at the start of it, I feel it would be pretty cool. But I think that definitely works. What? We got a car in here that went bang and went up into flames. All right, cool. Wait a minute. My thunderstrucker. I shook it. Can I bring that up? There we go. It scared the crocodiles. My route was complete. The treasure stood on a rock. This rock was cool. I wanted this rock. It was a key. Yeah, okay, great. I mean, Jack, these are great. You've got lots of sentences here. I think we need to kind of like have a little look at that punctuation because it's kind of freewheeling towards the end of the second one. No possible way to escape. No hope to get back out. Okay, cool. These are great. Bang is a really nice kind of tight point. I resist. We'll finish on this. The Pringles. I grab a bag of treasure and with superhuman strength snap through the branches. There's a ravine. But I have a rope. Swing over it Tarzan style, but the frayed rope almost snaps as I get a foothold. I'm alive. I love it. Brandon, one thing I would suggest with this is, but the frayed rope almost snaps as I get a foothold. I get a foothold. The frayed rope snaps. Give us a slow down time on that snapping. I feel gravity pulling me down. Look down into the abyss. There's a lot of, you could add at least like 3 or 4 sentences to that moment of the frayed rope snapping. Really zoom in on that, and it's a very powerful moment. All right, cool, guys. We have experimented today with how we build tension. Writing in the first person narration like this is really effective for building tension because we're trapped with you, so we really care about you. We went over kind of pathetic fallacy, the idea that the weather can like be ominous. We can use short sentences, can't we, for impact. That's really powerful. If we're going to mention items and objects, we kind of suggest that they might be faulty or they're fallible. The main character might also be vulnerable in some way. Those things really will help us add tension. I think we can do one more session on this, though. I think to really do it as a masterclass, we will continue with our tense writing next session. We will see if we can make it all the way to the treasure, and then we'll move on to persuasive after that. Guys, you've been amazing today. I love how people have been throwing themselves into it. You've been taking risks. If you want to experiment any more with this, try and write a little bit more about maybe a surprise birthday party. Someone turning up, they don't know that everyone's waiting for to shout out surprise, and they get back to their house and they open the door and something's wrong in the house. The whole little bit of writing could end with people shouting surprise. But what happens in the build-up? All right. Guys, you've done really well today. I'm really, really impressed. I'll be back here next week, 10:30. We'll carry this on again. We're going to look at we're going to have some problems with quicksand next time, and we're going to look at how we can write about navigating a desert and quicksand in a way that makes us feel that tension as well. All right. Wicked work. See you next week. Have a fantastic week, guys. I'm really, really impressed with you all. I'm going to give you all. I'm going to do a little sound effect to see if I can do it. I'll give you all. Joe, I'll go with this. Done, and we're out. All right, cool. Catch you guys later on.